And we are live. Hey, YouTube world, it's Marcy Kennedy. Welcome to my channel. I have Lou Hustles here with me. And tonight we're going to be celebrating my 1-year seller anniversary. So I'm really excited about that. So I've obviously been selling for 1 year now, and I sell on Poshmark, eBay, and I launched my Amazon business in January. So Lou, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? I'm going to pull up my chat on this end while you're doing that.
What's going on, everybody? I am Lou Hustles. Mostly, first of all, congratulations to Marcy. She's been working hard over this past year. We've gone through a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of good stuff, and she's come a long way, and she's doing an excellent job. And I am also a full-time seller now, basically only on Amazon. I do wholesale and real estate and things like that. So yeah, that's my background.
Okay, awesome. All right. I got my, oh, it looks like I hit 300 subscribers today too. What a day.
Nice. Congratulations.
Hey, we're creeping up there. We're creeping.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race, right? That what they
That's
say?
right. I guess it's probably been about a month since you and I have been live.
Oh my gosh, it seems like forever.
Yeah, and remember last time we went live on my channel, it was a little bit of a flop because, you know, I've got that whole learning curve thing going, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm back for more. I'm back for more.
Well, this one went out. We went on without a hitch on this one.
Well, so far, be careful. Be careful. I don't know. It could be a long hour, Lou. It could be a long hour.
Right.
So what have you been up to? So I know that you've expanded your Amazon business. Oh, look, Mike's in the chat now from Newfound Pass. Hi, Mike. Yeah, actually, I popped over on Mike's channel today. It's been a while since I've been really on any channels. So I just popped over there today to see what he's been doing, and he had some really good thoughts on storage and good usage of space and things like that. So my goal next year is to expand into our apartment that we have over the garage. So I'm going to use, like, he had a really great idea with taking it like graph paper and using it kind of like a blueprint before you actually move all of your items in, you know, for good space utilization. So I'm going to use that next year. So anyway, back to you, Lou. So I know you've really expanded your Amazon business and you're doing so much more wholesale than retail arbitrage, and that's really freed up your time. So how have you been using your time now that you have more free time? I know you're doing other things business related with it. It's not really free time, but
I just, you know, like he said, I expanded my Amazon. I expanded my Amazon business and basically to wholesale, and so it's really freed up my time. I don't have to go out do any RA or anything like that. So literally every day right now, I spend about 15-20 minutes to do my books, and then when it's time to order new inventory that week, I probably spend like 8 to 10 hours on the business. But besides that, everything's pretty much on autopilot, which is really awesome.
That blows my mind because you and I were texting a little bit back and forth like we always do, and you said that you were spending like 15-20 minutes a day on your business, and I was like, what? Is he selling me the dream? What's going on?
Well, because you know, I get my delivery the one week, and I you know, right now I guess I'm restocking probably about once a month because I order in large quantity. And so until I have to restock again, I just have to keep track of my books, you know, what sells and things like that.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
And with my time right now, I'm just catching up with the housework because, you know, for so long I was doing eBay and what's the other Poshmark and all that kind of stuff. We were doing all that. And so a lot of things got behind. So now it's just amazing because I have extra time that I don't know what to do with. So I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know what extra time is. Well, actually, I do know what extra time is. Extra time is what got me started in this business because it started off as me having extra time and just selling clothes out of my closet.
Yeah.
And then somehow I was like, business idea.
Yeah. I literally
That's
right
what
now
extra
just
time does for me.
right now I find myself just like getting on the computer because I'm the type that just wants to keep doing something
Yeah.
with the business, and there's nothing to do, so I'll just find myself looking on the computer. Oh, let me check out my account. Is there something I can write today or right now? Like I'll
Uh-huh.
do my books and I'll come back and be like, oh, let me see if I sold anything else. I can write that in the books.
Right. Now, do you actually, I do, of course, my sales are not as scaled up as your sales yet.
That's
Um,
right. Yet is the word. You're gonna get there.
but I do for my books, I do like per sale. I kind of go back and calculate, what my cost of good was, what my profit is, and that's like per sale. And mine, the most I've ever sold in any one day was like it was a good number. Um, but how do you do that as you scale bigger? How do you go back and figure out your cost of goods or your profit?
Well, I use right now. I upgraded to QuickBooks Enterprise
Mhm.
just for the fact that with bundles and things like that. Because what I sell is bundles,
Yeah.
and so with the bundles, I can keep track of my inventory, right on my desktop and things like that. And with the enterprise version, I can type in what I order, and then so every time I reorder, I can just it'll all be there already. So I don't even have to like, go in there and be like, oh, I need to order this and this and this.
Mhm.
My software already knows what I need to order.
Okay, so it's kinda integrated with the inventory that you have at the warehouse?
I mean, it's not like connected,
Mhm.
but it's connected because of the information I put into it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then so like if it's like to your question, like if I get sales, I do enter it individually.
Mhm.
Right now, like I said, I have the time to do it. It takes me about uh, I don't know, a couple seconds to enter per order, and I
Right.
spend about 15-20 minutes on it
Yeah,
per day.
actually, I'll be honest with you, that out of everything that I do in my business. Uh-oh.
What?
I said, oh, you cut out for a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because remember we had some audio issues last time on top of everything else. Okay. But yeah, so, yeah, that actually out of everything I do on my business, that's actually my favorite thing to do is to go back and do, like, per sale,
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
cost was and what the profit is and all of that. That's
Mm.
actually my favorite thing to do. That's kind of like my treat through the day. I do it in the morning over my first cup of coffee, kinda like what sold overnight, and
Yeah.
then I do it in the afternoon, kinda like that mid-morning or mid-afternoon
Hmm.
break, and then I do it again, as I'm winding down for the night. I
Right.
always look forward to that, and John looks at me, he's like, "You spend so much time doing that." I'm like, "I know, but I love it."
You love
It's like my treat,
it.
it's my
Yeah.
reward, it's my treat, it's what I love.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about hiring it out, but I was like, if I hire it out, then I have nothing to do, and then I will go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm
You
like,
gotta hold on to something in your business
yeah,
other than
and
writing the checks
yeah. So I was like,
and
nah, I'll just
making
keep it for now.
deposits.
Yeah, I like having control too, so I can't let go of everything.
Oh, I'm a control freak. That was probably my biggest challenge getting used to Amazon is letting go control of my inventory.
Yeah.
Where it's going and what it's doing, and I'm like, "What do you mean you're transferring that?" Like
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, and actually, I've been really good. There's was 2 shipments that went up to BWI in Maryland a couple weeks ago, and the shipments just sat in the warehouse, and I just watched them for 2 weeks, and I was like, "Nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna let it go." So I've learned.
Mhm.
Remember when I first started, I'd call you like every day freaking out like, "Oh my god, they lost my inventory again."
I do. I remember those days. It's just like, just forget about it. It'll come up. It'll show up.
I know, I
Let
know.
Amazon do their thing.
I know, just let them do it, just let them do it, and then there was, like, one of the shipments that they checked it in everything, but I had, contact lens solution in the shipment, and I know for a fact it's in there. I know it's in there, but they haven't checked in that particular part of the shipment, and honestly, after fees and stuff, it's like a $10, profit, so it's not like chump change,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "I want them to find my freaking contact lens solution, but I gotta give them time."
I
So,
know.
I'm just gonna patiently wait and not forget about it, and then, when it comes time, then I can, send them my receipt and all that other good
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
So this is about you in your first year.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is out of this whole year of reselling? What's the thing that surprised you the most? Something like you didn't expect. Like, really?
That's a good question.
Or was everything just kind of like go with the flow?
No, I am not. I mean, I am go with the flow to a point. After I know the process, I'm good with go with the flow, but I
Uh-huh.
gotta know the process.
Right.
Um, what surprised me the most? Probably that I don't know, Lou, that's a good question. Can I think on that one?
Of course.
Let me think on that one. I don't know.
How about what's been the hardest thing?
Oh my gosh, the hardest thing would not probably, is giving up control to Amazon.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal, isn't it?
It is. And like, I'll get things like I have like 23 SKUs that are freaking stranded because of price alerts because they think my price is too high. It's like crazy ridiculous like stuff. And I'm
Hmm.
like, "What do you mean? My price that I have on there is either the same as the buy box or less, but yet it keeps kicking it back out that the price is too high." And I don't know why. And it just started doing that like a month ago, something crazy. So, of course, I keep, I'm messaging them, the help center that I finally learned how to use and, emails and stuff like that. And they keep telling me the same thing, which is not helpful.
It
It's
all depends on what rep you get.
It's just not helpful, and, and I mean, I have sent numerous emails about the same issue, and it's just their answers are just not helpful. They're like, "Oh, make sure you're either in the buy box or better than the buy box." I'm like, "I am!" So, what I do is I just let it sit there, and every couple of days, I just go in and I edit the list or edit my offer, drop it by a nickel, hit submit. Sometimes it'll take it, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. It's just weird. So anyway, that's been my latest thing about learning how to let go control because I obsess over these things. Like, what do you mean I have 23 SKUs that are stranded? Like overnight, it's just like all of a sudden they stranded all my inventory. And I'm like, that's a lot of SKUs.
So what has been your favorite platform to sell on? Because well, what all the platforms have you sold on this past year,
All
and which one
three.
is your favorite?
I've sold on Poshmark, eBay, and Amazon. And my favorite, you know, I have love for all of them for different reasons. Poshmark because it was my baby. It's what I did for, what, 5 months straight, I think it was 5 months straight I was on Poshmark, 4 months straight, something like that. Nothing else, just Poshmark. And I just, I mastered it, and not that it's difficult to master, but, I mastered it, and I had a lot of success, but then I just got burnt out from the clothes, because clothes are just really difficult to list. And then it was on my birthday last year, November 21st, that I launched my eBay store. And so that was so much fun because I was able to do hard goods all of a sudden. So I loved that. And then Amazon launched in January, and I really like the fast-paced quickness of Amazon. So I'd have to, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Amazon. Um, because I love how fast you can list items. You get them shipped in. When they do get processed, they move quickly. Generally, I mean, I have, especially being a newbie. I mean, of course, I have stuff in there that I've sent in thinking it was a good buy when it wasn't. That's just all a learning curve, and that's okay. So there's still stuff sitting in there that I sent in back in January that hasn't sold yet. But in general, a lot of stuff when it hits the warehouse has sold rapidly. So I really enjoy that. Did I lose you, Lou? Are you muted? Did you mute yourself?
I did. My boy's here in the kitchen with me, so I'm
Oh,
just
gotcha.
he's
Got
asking me questions, so I didn't want him to,
So what's been your favorite platform?
Oh, without a doubt, Amazon.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a whole different level.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
if I had to choose which one to spend my time on per day, it would be Amazon.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
like
I'm like, especially now with the clothing, I'm like, "What do you mean I have to list a pair of jeans?"
yeah, and
I
that's why I
have
love
to
it. And,
photograph those, and I have to share my closet? Really?
yeah,
And I tried to outsource that stuff to my daughter who's 18, and unfortunately, she just wasn't she would do it, but she wasn't, um, disciplined enough to do it, like, on a schedule and, at the pace that I wanted her to do it, so
mhm,
but I did try to employ her.
right,
It didn't work out so well.
right, yeah. Employing people is, I think, one of the hardest things to do. It's hard to find somebody that um does it how you want it done. I guess I should
Well, and,
say.
of course, she's like, "This is mom." That's a lot different than it being your boss and your boss saying, "You have to share my closet 4 times an hour."
Right.
It's like, "Well, this is mom," and,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
she wants
Definitely.
to go spend time with her boyfriend. I'm like, "Fine, go. Whatever. I'm not gonna argue with you."
Yeah. And, I had an employee for a while there that was doing my photographs and everything for eBay and
Yep, I
Poshmark and all
remember that.
that. Um, I don't miss it. Everybody's different. Every seller's different. Some sellers love touching their inventory and things like that. And
Mhm.
I just, with Amazon, I literally just get my inventory and ship it back out. Um, I
Well,
work,
you had talked about having a prep center at one time. Did you get the prep center or not yet?
I didn't do the prep center because my boy wants to, he's 13, he wants to earn money. So he's doing my prepping for me for a third of the cost. So he's doing the prepping right now. And when he's done doing that, I'll use the prep center.
Uh-huh.
But if I had the prep center, I wouldn't even see my inventory. All I'd be doing is my
Yeah.
books, period.
That's what I was thinking you were doing.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I spend 8 to 10 hours when I order inventory because it comes here.
Mhm.
When if you use a prep center, I just order my inventory from the wholesaler. They would ship it to the prep center. My prep center would bag it, bundle it together, label it, and ship it to Amazon from. So I wouldn't even see my inventory.
Maybe when your boy gets bored of it, then you can do the
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So, but for now, it's
It's a
working
good
out good.
it's
So
it's good learning for them too, it really is.
yeah, yeah. So, but definitely Amazon. I just think it's to scale. If you want to scale like big and make hundreds of thousands, that's Amazon's the
Oh, yeah.
platform. Like eBay and stuff like that. I don't think you can scale that big unless you have like a brick and mortar or warehouse and
And then
employees and
lots of employees. Well,
lots of
that's yeah,
employees.
and that's why Amazon is so scalable, because those
Hmm.
days that I have had really big volume of sales, I
Yeah,
couldn't imagine me trying to run around and ship out 30 packages. I just
yeah. And
I
the
don't
way
know
the
if
way
I would be able to find all 30 items, to be honest
yeah,
with
yeah, with like what you can do on eBay with 100 employees, I could do it by myself. The way my business is set up. You know what I mean? Because I don't even touch my inventory.
Right.
There's no picturing. There's nothing like that because all my pictures come from the wholesalers. They supply me with
That.
pictures and all that stuff, and so I don't even have to do pictures, none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just super scalable.
Yeah.
It's like nonstop scalable.
Yeah, I think Amazon, it kind of spoils you too as far as the listing goes because of that.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some items that I've gotten that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make my own listing on Amazon. You know that items I've gotten real cheap, and I knew I'd be able to flip them or whatnot.
Hmm.
And those items are still sitting in my house because I've gotten lazy as far as listing goes.
Yeah. It's like even just cross. Like I thought about all the stuff that I sell on Amazon to cross list it on eBay and just to have it sold on them. Like,
Yep.
man, I don't want to go through that.
I know, I
I
know,
don't want to go through that listing and all that stuff.
I know.
It's just like that's just the work that I don't want to do.
Well, I had at one point, after I started Amazon, like I said, I did have some buys that were not the best buys. Um, and so my dining room was just full of stuff that I had to do something with. And I knew I wasn't some things, I had already sent like 2 of to the warehouse to see if they would sell well. And I still had like 6 of them or, things like that. So my dining room was just full of just stuff and I had to do something with it. So I was like, well, I'll just start listing it all on eBay. And some things actually did end up selling on eBay before, I sent them back to the Amazon warehouse. Um, so some of that's actually I was pleasantly surprised about. But at least that way I had it listed and then I put it in my in my eBay bins and, then it's at least organized and I'm not tripping over it in my dining room.
So now that you've been through a whole year of reselling and everything, what after the year, where do you see yourself in your business of reselling going from here?
Well, it's July now. So, actually, I'm glad you asked me the question because I challenged myself to give myself a date today. Um, so it's July now. We're looking at vacations and, back to school and all of that stuff. So my thought is to take the next month and, I have done some product research, not as much as I need to do for wholesale. Um, but to have an actual order and have some shipment into the Amazon warehouses by the end of August. So that's about 6, 7 weeks away. So that's my next big goal.
Okay, but like, where do you see like when you think about your Amazon business? You see like like right now I'm running it by myself, one man team, and it's like growing. Do you feel like do you see yourself like continuing to run it by yourself? Are you looking to like expand with employees, or
For
do you see
now,
yourself just selling on one platform, or you
for
going to continue
now,
selling all
yeah,
three?
for now, I see myself as a one-man show for now, for the next year or so. And then I would like to be able to focus less on. I'm pulling away from Poshmark as I'm filtering through my clothing inventory, that I've purchased in the past, or a couple new things that I find here and there. So I'm pulling away from Poshmark and putting that energy into Amazon, and then eBay is kind of my catch-all for anything I can possibly list on it. Kind of as double listing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I think I got myself distracted and kind of forgot what your question was. Imagine that, me distracted.
So has the reselling been everything you thought it would be?
I don't know what I thought it would be.
Came in with no expectation?
No, other than I wanted to kick some ass, and I think I've done that.
Yeah. I've seen your Amazon numbers that you sent me. That's pretty awesome. Definitely
I
doing really just on Amazon alone. That's awesome.
Well, I think, for, being yeah, I still consider myself a newbie for Amazon. It's only, 6 months in. I think the numbers that I've sent you have been pretty good, and those are record numbers, though. Those were
Yeah.
record numbers.
Record numbers that set up goals to break this year.
Yeah, and every month it's gotten bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Each month
Mm-hmm.
that that particular number that I've sent you, which
Yeah.
for those listening, it was kind of my 30-day sales for Amazon. So each month that number has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think I've told you before, I've been excited because each week that I get a transfer, from Amazon, a payout from Amazon, that number's gotten bigger too, which has been pretty cool. And then like today, actually, I looked at my bank account and I was like, ooh,
Nice.
it was bigger than I anticipated, you know?
That's always a good
So
problem to have.
yeah, so I took a little screenshot of that and sent that to John when he was at work. I was like circled the number really big in red, sort of like how I send those numbers to you, when I'm excited about those numbers. So
Definitely.
yeah, so yeah, I just think it's going to just keep getting bigger. And then the other thing too, that you reassured me when I first started was, my comfort zone would get bigger and bigger as far as what I was willing to pay out, as far as purchasing inventory, and generally always, not, or generally not always, but generally, the more you spend on your item, the bigger the ROI, or the
Hmm.
yeah, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
ROI is the same, but the bigger the payout. So if you spend,
Right. Instead of
generally,
making 5, you're making 20.
thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say.
And
Um,
how's your comfort? You've been,
oh, much better.
yeah.
Much better. And I'm starting to learn to look at things that other people aren't looking at.
Hmm.
I'm starting to learn what other people are not looking at, and for me to go and look at those things.
Right.
Today I was in there scanning away when I was at,
Yeah.
one of
That's how
those
you find
stores.
that golden nuggets when you start scanning where people don't scan.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly, and you're like, "Ooh,"
You know.
you're like, "I can spend 10 on this and I can make 18."
Yeah. I know some of that stuff that you sent me that you made really nice ROIs on.
Oh, the
I was like,
stuff
are you kidding me?
the stuff I spent a quarter on and I was making
Yeah.
like $8.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's some nice profit.
But unfortunately, I'm all sold out of those.
Yeah.
But there's always next year when that season ends.
Right.
Yes.
That's a good section to get in, good
I
game to get
know.
into.
I know, yeah, and I had different varieties of that kind of item. It was a seasonal item for those listening in, and that season has passed. Um, but I had a variety of that particular item, and I'm sold out of. I think I still have one that's not selling for some reason, it's just not. Um, but everything else I'm sold out of. I mean, I think I sold out of them today. So, see, I have my little book here. Remember talking about, those individual those individual sales? See, I have my log.
Uh-huh.
Um, was it today? Oh, snap. Where is it? Because I don't want to be telling you a lie. I want to be telling you the truth. Oh, here it is. So, it was on the 4th of July I sold out, except for the one item that's not selling. But this one particular item, my investment was $2.22 and my profit was $11.45 after fees and after cost of goods.
Nice.
So, yes, I can't wait till next year.
Yes.
Because next year, remember when I went sourcing for those items? Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
I was on a 2-day tear? Do you remember
Yes, I
that? And I
do.
was
Yeah.
calling you from my car and sending you pictures of like my
Uh-huh.
shopping cart just full of stuff.
Yeah, I do.
I cannot wait. And
Mm.
what I started doing, and I think I had told you about this idea too, but I know you're kind of away from RA now, but I'm going to continue this idea for myself. What I do is when I find good clearance, like a particular time,
Mhm.
what I've been doing is I've been writing it on my calendar. So this was like a week after Easter. So I know for next year, I'll transfer that information onto my 2020 calendar so that I know a week after Easter next year to be ready to go.
And that's genius because that's what I used to do too. Because you have a shopping list before people even
Yeah,
know that it's on clearance.
exactly. And I'll be like,
Yep.
Walgreens is open 24 hours a day.
Yep.
I'll be there. And,
And that gives you the opportunity to be the first in too.
yeah, and the other thing too is that when I went on that Easter tear this year, that was the last minute. That was me. It was a Monday afternoon. I was like, I need out of the house. I don't feel like going. I don't want to go, but I need out of the house and I need to go get more inventory. I need to go find more inventory. And I didn't want to go. And I forced myself out of the house. And it was on an afternoon and it was like maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I hit that Walgreens and I was just like, I don't know if they're going to have anything. I didn't even know the clearance was happening, honestly. It was just, kind of a random thing for me just to be like, oh, let me go see what Walgreens has on clearance today. And I popped in there and there it was. Whoa, and yeah, so now I'm gonna be all ready for next year. So yeah, and this year it was like I said, it was a 2-day tear. But it was all last minute. This coming year I will be ready.
So do you think this year are you going to start dabbling in the wholesale?
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying before. I wanna actually make a purchase and have my first shipment into a warehouse by the end of August.
By the end of August?
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my mindset
Hmm.
right now because I would do it sooner, but like I said, we have vacations coming up and trips and back to school and, a lot of moving parts. And I want John's total buy-in too. And actually, he and I, that's another thing we did this past weekend is we sat down and we looked at some of the different wholesale companies together. And I've gotten a lot of different wholesale contracts, I guess is that what you would call them? Wholesale contracts, accounts.
Yeah, counts. Yeah,
I've gotten a bunch of wholesale accounts since you and I spoke last too.
that's awesome.
So, and I took your words of advice that, you pick something up at the store that you like, that you would normally flip, RA wise, and you just contact the company directly and be like, hey, here I am.
Yep.
Let's make a
All they
deal.
can do is say no.
Exactly. And when they do say no, it's just always something, like a simple, sorry, we don't sell to third party sellers. And you just go
Yep.
move on,
Yep. That's the
all
thing
right.
about that's about the thing about wholesale. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, and you're like,
You,
"Okay,
you,
I have a list of 200 companies and you're
yeah,
number, 2. Okay, I'll move on to number 3."
yeah. Move on and let's see what we can do with the next one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's times too at the stores when I'm out doing my RA that I'll take a snapshot, just a photo of the name of the company as a reminder, and
You
then
do that all the time too.
yeah, do you? Yeah, and then, when I'm home and I'm working on the computer, then I'll, research the company,
Hmm.
send them, a quick email, say, "Hey, I love your products. Love to sell with you. Let's make a deal." And like I said, worst case scenario, they say no. Oh, the other thing that I've done too. So, what is Snap? The name, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. In Las Vegas, the big wholesale Amazon powwow.
Oh, you're talking
It's 3 initials.
man, now you got me. No, I don't know what it is. Um Gosh, I know what you're
Why
talking about though.
why am I not oh my gosh.
I don't
Okay, well,
remember either.
anyway, I obviously am not gonna physically be there, but I
Hmm.
registered for it.
Yeah.
So, now I have access to the list of all the vendors. So, I've reached out to there's been some vendors that, I've gone and I've checked out their websites. I'm like, "Oh, that might be a good fit for my business." And, I've been able to make some contacts that way and get
Hmm.
some accounts that way. So you don't have to physically go to a trade show. You
Yeah.
can just register for it and use their information. Oh, and I did go, as you know, I did go to my first trade show.
Yes.
I mean, I've been to trade shows before, but not as a reseller, as a,
Right.
for wholesale. And it
Hmm.
was a bust, but I thought,
It's a
I
good
went.
experience.
Yeah, I went and I checked things out, and I took photos of different labels and different things like that. Um, did my
You
research
you
that
still have
away.
my you still have my email, right?
Yeah,
When are you going to email that wholesale list?
what wholesale list?
All the wholesalers you're getting.
Oh yeah, I'll share a couple with you. I'll share you a couple with
I'm just speaking.
you. It's all good. It's all good, man. We're a team. You don't know this, but I actually work for you. You just haven't hired me yet. But I'm still interviewing for the job.
Mm. I told you one day I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Yeah, because I already told you I'm a kick-ass manager.
It's coming. It's gonna come.
I know it is. I have full faith, believe me.
I do too.
And that is the one thing too, actually. I'm a little bit more comfortable with the paycheck. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am much more comfortable getting a paycheck
That's
than being
because that's
than
what how that's how we're raised though. You know what
I
I mean?
know.
That's how society what
And
society
that's the
teaches
way I
us.
worked for 21 years,
Yeah.
was with a paycheck.
Yeah. That's what makes everybody scared. That's what a paycheck makes people comfortable. Not comfortable, but it keeps them from being feared, keeps them away from fear.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why you get to be a boss, because
yeah.
you're okay not having one.
Yes, I'd rather not have one.
You're the
I'll
boss.
find a way. I'll find a way.
You're the boss, man.
Oh, I get to, and I do real estate. I'm closing on I sold one this Friday I'm closing on one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice paycheck.
That is awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was telling John, I was like, "Yeah, Lou's flipping houses now." And John's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "That's a little risky." I was like, "Yeah, Lou likes the risk.
I like risk. I'm like a
Just
matter of
jump
fact,
on in."
we went on a double date, my wife and another couple. We were talking about risk tolerance in the stock market,
Oh
and
yeah.
everybody's just like, oh, I always say you're in the shallow end. You're safe. It's not deep, and you're in the deep end. That's high risk tolerance. Everybody's just like, oh, I'm in the shallow end, and like, I can't. There's no way I can live in the shallow end. I'm
Well,
like, I'm like, where's the sharks? Let's go fishing for sharks.
sharks. Like the
Let's go
big
all the
old
way
Great
out.
Lakes. The big old Great Lakes. Where's Jaws?
Yeah.
No, I
I
think that the difference is, and the one thing that I've learned about you is that you do a great job of doing your research before you jump in.
definitely yes.
I know you always joke and say, you always jump in 2 feet first, but that's after you've
Yeah.
had a little bit of knowledge.
That's definitely you've
And
learned that from me. That's awesome that you learned that from me.
well,
Because
I
that's
learned it
like
that's the way
100%
you
so
are.
true.
Yeah,
That's 100% true.
yeah,
I do talk a lot of smack, but believe me, I before I do anything, I have the research down
yeah,
packed.
exactly. And you know your research, you know
Uh,
your numbers, which is probably why you're like me, that you like to go item by item and figure out how much profit you're making. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because there's only been 2 items so far that I've actually lost money on selling on Amazon, which I thought was pretty cool. And that was only
Yeah.
like a couple pennies because I screwed up my pricing, you know.
So is it just by a mistake?
Yeah, it was like me, accidentally putting in a 9 instead of a 10, in the repricer or something,
Right, right.
something stupid. So, but yeah. So I like my numbers, and I've liked my research, and I actually am enjoying doing research on the products.
Yeah.
I really like product research. I was showing it to John the other night. Like I said, he and I were sitting down, going through a couple accounts, and I was pulling up, their different products on Amazon and I was showing them, I was like, well, this is the sales week. I'm like, that one's just not good. We're staying away from that one. We're not doing that one. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and this one, is doing, really well over here. And this other product of theirs is doing really well. So maybe we could put those together because they seem to, those two products gel together really well. That would be a good bundle. You know what I mean? So I was like walking him through all of that stuff too. And I really enjoyed that. That was pretty cool for me to be able to explain that to him.
Right.
It made me feel good that I was like, Lou's been teaching me well.
That's
Oh, look,
awesome.
there's Craig. Oh, Craig saw my Modelo in the background. I actually, you know what? I was working on my coffee and had my Modelo in the background. Cheers, Craig, to my 1-year seller anniversary.
I got water.
You suck.
Well,
You
we
do this
went.
to me every time. It's called Wind Down with Lou and Marcy. We've been through this
I know.
9, 10 times, and you bring water.
I took my
Or
I took my daughter out to lunch so I can meet her boyfriend, or not lunch but
wah,
dinner.
wah, 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 wah.
All right. My bad.
Hey, look what I found. My coaster. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
I
In
have
your
them.
designs.
Yeah, and I have them on sale in my eBay store.
Oh. I haven't
Yeah.
even been on eBay in so long.
So you took your daughter out to lunch, and so did you have like, a couple cocktails in the afternoon?
I did, and it's called a Black Rock, and
Hmm.
then I got the
What's that? I
filet.
never heard of that.
I got the filet ribeye. It's a steak place, and it was a huge ribeye. And how they do it, they bring it to you uncooked because you cook your own steak. They bring out these stones, and the stones are heated to 770 degrees. And you sit there, and they put the whole steak on that stone, and it doesn't burn. If you just leave it flat, it won't even burn it. But once you start cutting the steak and
Yeah.
you put the pieces on the stone, it starts cooking the whole steak. It starts cooking the steak, the piece.
Hmm.
So you sit there on this hot stone and you cook your own steak, and they got these special seasonings. Oh my gosh! So I
And what
came
was
home
the name of
just
the place?
it's all Black Rock.
I don't think we have that. I have to look it up.
Yeah,
We went to we went to
we just
Kobe's last night to celebrate Katie's high school graduation, which, by the way, I'm super proud. Um, and yeah, I forgot how good Kobe's is. It's been years since we've been to Kobe's. So good. Gosh darn it, stop muting yourself. I can't tell if I've lost audio or not.
I had to plug
I'm
my
so scared that I'm losing audio again.
no. I got you.
Craig, isn't this so much more smooth than last time when I had to do sign language? Or my faux sign language? It wasn't real sign language, it was just made up. Let's see. Oh, Craig asked a really great question. Have y'all figured out what you're going to do after Google Hangouts goes away? Actually, Craig, that's a great question.
Hold up. Is Google's Hangouts is going away?
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been in the YouTube world, Mr.
Yeah,
Lou Hustles.
it's been a long time. I have no I barely knew how to get back on here to have this live
But you
thing.
haven't even been listening to anybody else's YouTube streams.
No, I have not been on anything YouTube. So tell me what's going on with this?
Yeah. So Google Hangouts is going away, and I know Craig did something. I don't know exactly what it was. How did you do that out? See, you have a referral link. Where did you put the link? I don't even know how to make you a moderator to let you do a link, Craig. How do I make him a moderator?
I think just click his the three buttons on his right next to his name, if I remember right.
See, add moderator. Oh, now you're a moderator. There you go.
So they're just making us use third-party software.
I don't know. Let's
And
see. Oh, actually, there's a little thing up here that says this Hangout on air is live. Hangouts on air is going away August 1st. For quick streaming, try youtube.com/webcam.
Mhm. So I'm sure you can use like third-party software and things like that still.
Okay.
Like
Um,
what is it, like Zoom? I think it's one of them.
yeah, Zoom I've done with other people that I like Zoom.
All that stuff.
We'll figure it out.
I think it's called. I think they call it resolvers or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a minute.
Go with the webcam. If you want, let's see, Craig said if you want to go with webcam, you can go by yourself. Zoom, you've tried. StreamYard. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. Craig, you are like way advanced for my technical, not, I should say, non-technical brain. Craig is doing like extensions on Chrome and I'm just like,
Yeah,
"Phew."
yeah.
But you're lucky I'm even sitting in front of a webcam. You're lucky I even learned how to order a webcam off of Amazon.
Yeah, I used to enjoy still doing that stuff, but a lot of technical stuff goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you still have all your equipment downstairs. Now, you said you're redoing your basement? Tell me about that.
I'm just because I don't need inventory or pictures or anything like that anymore. So I'm putting my. I used to have my movie theater down there,
Mhm.
and so we removed that. We did a lot of moving
Oh, real
around.
quick, hold on, sorry to interrupt you. Craig said he's got 20 people using his extension already. That is awesome. So, it's like a Keepa extension or not a Keepa, oh, good God. It must be late in the day.
What's it use it for?
Help me with the inventory for Walmart.
The for BrickSeek.
Thank you, BrickSeek extension, yeah.
What's what's his extension? I want to check it out.
Can you put the name of it in there, Craig, about how Lou can find it? Oh, iProfit IQ. He put it in there.
iProfit IQ.
Mhm. Yeah, he did a tutorial, or I think he's done more than one tutorial video on it. Why don't we, you know what we could do one time, Lou?
What's that?
Is we'll schedule with him and we'll do it on your channel since you have more subscribers than me. Um, have him come on and do a tutorial for us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We could do
Would you
that.
do that with us, Craig? He said you should be able to Google it.
I just did, yeah. A lot of stuff came up.
If you don't mind me putting you on the spot like that, Lou.
No, that's fine.
Let's do it at your place. You have more room.
That works. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely show it off. You put a lot of work into it. So yeah, so you did have your movie room down there and you're no longer doing your photos, so you're taking away that space.
Yeah, so we had it filled up with, with my office and all the equipment and things like that. So I'm just turning it back and putting the movie theater back down there and moving
Excuse me.
a section of the basement. It's going to be the toy room and things like that. So we're just redoing it up.
Good. Very good.
I don't need the space anymore.
Yeah, I have said it time and time again. I miss having a basement. In Florida, as you know, I don't have a basement.
Right.
I miss having that, and
Is
I
that
think,
just like a regular thing in Florida? No basement?
yeah, because of the water table.
Hmm.
It
Is
would
that
flood.
like throughout Florida or just to a certain point?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. I mean, I only know
Hmm.
Orlando.
Someone say in Orlando.
In Orlando, it's normal not to have a basement.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many parts of Florida that, I wanna travel to that I haven't done yet.
Hmm.
So I don't know about, and asking about basements would probably not be the top thing on my list to ask about.
Right.
When you go to Miami or whatever, it's not really, what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Right. I wouldn't know what to do without a basement.
Well,
It's a good place to hide all the kids and
yeah, and all of your
go to the
junk.
basement. Get out of here.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, here it's actually for us, it's a bedroom. It's actually my oldest son's bedroom now, but we have a media room. So in Florida, there's a lot of those like rec room, media rooms up on the second floor. So I think
Hmm.
that's kind of what a lot of parents do with their kids.
Ah,
Yeah, send them up there.
yeah.
But yeah, and I told you, we have the apartment over the garage. So when we first moved in, we had so many boxes just labeled basement, basement, basement. And when the movers were bringing stuff in, they're like, "What do you want us to do with this, Mrs. Kennedy?" And I'm like, "Put it in the apartment.
It's
Everything
like,
like
where's your
put in the
basement?
apartment." I was like, "Damn, I didn't plan on not having a basement."
Oh,
Yeah, so
too
everything
funny.
ended up in the apartment, and then when we were ready to rent that out, then we had to move everything out of there.
Hmm.
So, yeah, and it's just been a slow process trying to organize and get through all that stuff, and that's, one reason why I started reselling was to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, I wish you were closer because I'd be like, here,
Craig.
take this.
Yeah, Craig asked me to hit him up on Instagram, so we'll do that and we'll organize something.
Yeah, definitely. Just let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys work it out and let me know.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll definitely be fun. My daughter just walked in. She's distracting me. I have an audience now. An audience
You're
bigger than just Lou. That's what I should rename my channel, just Lou.
just
That's the biggest audience I have, Lou.
oh, too funny, too funny.
So how was the boyfriend that you met today? Did you like him?
He seemed nice.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
you know, it's the first time I met him, so um, we'll find out, I guess. you know, but
Oh,
he
I
seemed
know.
nice.
I know they all seem nice at first, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
That's what my husband always says. He's like, "Yeah,
yeah. I
nice."
know the routine.
Yep.
We'll give it a while. We'll see.
Mhm.
Ask me
How
in a
old's
couple
your
months. I'll
daughter?
let you know. She is
23,
21.
21. She's your
Yes.
oldest, right?
No. My oldest is 24.
Okay. Boy or girl?
Girl.
Okay, so I'm getting the girls confused. Okay.
I have 3 girls and 2 boys.
Oh, how's the exchange student? Is she gone?
Yeah, that was sad. Sad.
Yeah.
She left 28th of June.
Uh-huh.
We took her like the day before. We took her to Chicago, show her the city and things like that. We spent the day in Chicago, and then the next day she flight out. I think it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. I can't remember, but it was hard.
Oh,
We missed her at first.
yeah.
Not that we don't miss her now, but it's getting easier, I should say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We had an au pair that lived with us for a couple years back in Maryland, and
Hmm.
she was from, um, Slovakia, and she ended up meeting a Slovakian guy who lived in Minnesota, so she ended up marrying him and moving to Minnesota, and that was really hard letting her go because it was like well, and she was, older too than just a high school student, so for me, that was like, when I came home from work, it was like coming home and, having a best friend in the house all the time. It was, just awesome. Her and I'd have tea every night and, talk about our days, talk about the kids. We had so much in common. Obviously, she was watching after the kids during the day. So we had that in common. And she was just really, really awesome. She's really awesome. I still consider her a really, really great
Yeah. It makes it easier for us too. Is that we already got our next one, picked out, and we're talking to her and things like
friend.
that. So that makes it easier because we can look forward to our next one.
Yeah,
So it makes it a little bit easier. But we definitely miss her, and she'll always be part of the family.
absolutely.
So It's a fun
Absolutely.
experience.
Where was she from again?
Japan.
Oh, that's right.
This one, and then our next one's coming from Taiwan.
Nice.
Yeah, or Thailand, not Taiwan. Thailand.
Yeah. Taiwan, Thailand.
Taiwan, Thailand. So we're looking forward to her. She seems really nice. We FaceTimed her and we've talked to her a couple times. My wife talks to her almost daily.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're looking
Very,
for her to come in. And
very
I think
good.
she's coming first week of August.
Oh, wow. That's right around the
So
corner.
yeah, so we get like July to ourselves, and then we get the next one.
That is going to be right around the corner for you.
So yeah, but I'm ready already. So
Good, good. Okay, well, our hour is almost up. Can you believe that?
okay,
We always end up having so much fun, and it's like the hour just flies by
yes.
every time.
All right, since our hour's up, last question about reselling. What is one piece of advice that you learned over this past year that you would give somebody new that just started reselling?
You already know the answer to this.
Tell us.
Find yourself a Lou. You gotta have a go-to person for when you're freaking out.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
You
It
gotta.
definitely helps if you have, even if both of you are just starting out, just to have that accountability partner and somebody you can say, "Hey, man, this is tough."
Yeah,
Where you guys can jump ideas and just share stress and things like that.
absolutely. Or just just those days that I've had that, I've texted you. I'm like, okay, you know, I need a pick me up chat, just to cheer me on, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just you just need somebody that has your back, that's in the business and knows the business and has your back.
I definitely agree. Definitely having a partner, like I said, to talk back and forth to, and it's
Yep.
awesome to have.
It is, especially, when you're coming from a work environment where you're going to work and you have coworkers,
Hmm.
somebody to have that cooler chit chat with, you know,
Yeah.
the water cooler talk, and then
Hmm.
suddenly you don't have that anymore, you know,
Yeah.
and, everything's, like, in your brain, you're like, oh my god," and, having somebody to verbalize all that too just kinda helps get it out and process it, and, sometimes you're like, "Okay, so maybe I'm not such a dummy," you know?
Right. Yeah, I totally understand what I mean. So just to challenge you a little bit more. Um,
And like you said, hold you accountable. I think that that's really good.
yes.
Like for me to tell you, okay, this is my goal by the end of August is to have a wholesale shipment in Amazon warehouse. Now I'm going to do it.
Right.
It's not going to be like this wishy-washy. Well, July was like a crazy month, and then the kids went back to school, and well, I just couldn't do it. No, now that I told Lou it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah. And in August, we'll be like, so how's that shipment?
You better text me August 1st.
Text you August 1st.
I'll be like, "Oh shit, I forgot to order this." I'll be right on that.
Okay, so how
Yeah,
about
and then even like, there's been times that, your voice has traveled around in my head with me, where it's like, like actually today, I was scanning inventory, you know, looking where nobody else was looking in the stores. And I was like, "It's okay to spend $10 on this." Lou was gonna tell me that my comfort level was gonna increase, and guess what? It increased. I'm spending $10 on it.
definitely?
It's okay. Lou said it was okay. So everybody needs a Lou, so if you haven't gotten one, get yourself one. Not my Lou, get your own Lou. Not mine.
Oh,
How
so
about you?
what?
What is your top?
Oh
Um,
my
like
gosh.
I know
I
I know
think
you I know you got it because you've given me some crazy, I mean, not crazy, but crazy awesome advice to the point where, there's been times that I'm like, I'll see a plaque of something and I'll take a picture of it and send it to you because I'm like, "You just told me this last week."
I think from like looking at you and watching your journey, I would have to say, and from like if it's somebody that's starting fresh, is expect nothing and don't quit.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
been that's
because
probably my journey right there in a nutshell.
yeah, I mean,
That's
because if
it
you if
right
you if
there.
you can follow that,
'Cause I
everything
started
is
off with no
growth.
expectations.
You know, I
Yeah,
think that's what I would tell them.
absolutely. I like that, Lou.
You know?
I like that a lot.
So,
Just expect just enough return to go out and buy more inventory.
exactly.
And grow that inventory and grow
Yeah,
it and grow
and
it,
keep growing and growing.
grow it,
Yeah.
grow it, and grow it some more. And
Yep.
yeah, and then you take that, that profit and you go buy more inventory and you expand your business, whether it's, going to a different platform or buying more inventory and sending that in, whatever it is, just constantly expanding.
Yeah.
Um, there was another that you've told me before was be productive, not just busy, or what was that?
Don't be. Uh.
Don't be
uh
busy, be productive.
yes. Just don't be busy for busy's sake. Be productive.
And that's a big one. There's been times that I've been able to step back and be like, okay, am I just being busy or am I
Hmm.
actually being productive?
Yeah. I still struggle with that
And
because
then
I.
the other one is build it and they will come. Because there's been times
Yeah.
um, that I've, have told you before, like my eBay sales will, start to slide and things like that. Because, you can't, it's hard to focus your energy on Amazon without eBay sliding or vice versa.
Hmm.
And, I was like, just my eBay stuff is just not selling, not selling. You said just keep building it. They'll come. Keep building it. They'll come. And that's what I've done. And my listings right now, I think I have 467, I think at
Hmm.
the last check, which I think is pretty good, for running 3 platforms.
Definitely.
And, it's not record breaking, I know there's people out there with bigger stores and stuff, but like I said, my eBay is kind of a catch-all, but I
Hmm.
just keep thinking, "Build it and they'll come,"
Hmm.
you know, and that's what I keep doing, so it's like, when the sales are slow, you just build more listings. That's it, that's the only thing you can do. That's it, that's it. "Oh, look, Hip Flipper Mama just popped in."
Hey, hey.
Yeah, and, because Shane had, Rise and Grind had a couple of weeks ago, can't remember, they were talking about, getting prepared or what do you do during the slow period of the summer and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And my words of advice, in the chat was list, list, list.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. He told me I was spot on, so that made me feel validated.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because Lou said if I build it, they'll come. So,
It's
'cause Lou
not that, not quite that simple, but yes.
said
Oh, too funny.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I know. We always have a good time together. Always, always, always. Okay. Well, I'll be in contact with you about Land Shark Picker and getting him on for a tutorial.
Okay, awesome. Yes, let me
Yeah,
know. You guys work it out and let me know.
absolutely. Kelly, we were just about ready to sign off, babe, but I'm glad that you popped in.
Yes.
All right.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Good night. Let me see if I know how to turn this off.
We're gonna be here another hour trying to disconnect.
Doing sign language. Good night.
Good night.